Cryptotrader is proudly brought to you by eToro. Discover a simpler way to trade and invest in cryptocurrencies and more.
Vitalik boycotts the consensus event in New York. $150 million worth of Bitcoin moved from the Mt.Gox account. The number of Bitcoins in circulation tops 17 million. Nasdaq hint that they may become a crypto exchange, and the market breaks the $400 billion market cap.
Those are your headlines, and you're watching Cryptotrader on CNBC Africa. This week we're coming to you from Miami, where we're covering the BC Nation Conference. And on a week where the markets have topped the $400 billion market cap again, we're going to find out from the experts whether they believe this run is real. We also promised you a breaking news story that's an exclusive to Cryptotrader on CNBC, so stay tuned. As mentioned, tonight we've got a breaking news story, an exclusive breaking news story to CNBC. Jake Greenbaum, before we get into the breaking news story, who are you guys and what do you do?
So in the crypto space, I'm more commonly known as the Crypto King. I do a lot of crypto investments, discussing crypto. I write for different news articles, different news publications, and I'm big in the crypto space. I watched a lot of projects happen over the last couple months, and I decided a novel project that could really add development and value to the space. Utility adds value in the crypto space, and I figured I could add a lot of utility and value by forking ZCL with Bitcoin Private. This led me to create a Miami-based team, which leads me to my lead dev, who is leading the project as far as the development goes, while we're leading the media and the team building of it.
So are you forking Z Classic again to create another privacy coin?
Yes, we're creating a privacy coin, but with Bitcoin branding while incorporating masternodes. So we're doing a three-step process of incorporating what most individuals enjoy from across the crypto world. It's not any one coin, it's a combination of three different features in one new coin.
But haven't we just had a privacy coin forking out of the Z Classic stable?
Yes, but a lot of missteps happened with both the prior privacy coin forking and every fork that's taken place to date. And so what we're looking to do is capitalize on their missteps to ensure we don't make the same ones.
Let's talk about the missteps that you're talking about. What are these missteps that you talk about?
Some of the missteps would include if you're looking at bringing a coin to market. Big exchange listing is important. We obviously can't talk about what exchanges we'd like to be listed on right now because we haven't even announced that our coin is forking. But down the road, on the roadmap, we have listing dates where we're going to announce the exchanges we do plan to list. Other forks never had exchange listings even announced pre-forking. And so by knowing where you're going to be listed while having a top team as far as advisors and developers goes, we're going to be a whole leg up on the competition before we even get started.
So if we look at the previous fork, which is the Bitcoin private fork, one of the big mistakes they made was that they're not listed on many exchanges and that many exchanges didn't support the Bitcoin private fork. Are you insinuating that for your fork you actually have the support of the exchanges?
Not right now, because that wouldn't be something we'd be able to insinuate before we had actually a deal planned out. But the intent is to have the big exchange listing, and the only missteps were not exchange listing. There were delays through the entire process, and they chucked up the delays to a whole bunch of different things. But the reality is there were delays, they didn't make big exchanges, and they really upset their community. And coins live and die by the community supporting them. And if from a development standpoint, you can't achieve the goals your community wants, you're, as a coin, not going to succeed. So not that Bitcoin Private won't succeed, but they're going to have a harder time succeeding than going into it without delays, with big exchange listing, and with the community that fully supports it.
So Bitcoin Private has a market capitalization of over $1 billion today, and you're saying that they didn't do it right. So if they didn't do it right, and they've got a market capitalization of over $1 billion, it means that you're targeting a market capitalization of way over $1 billion.
Speculatively speaking, if you analyze what Bitcoin Private is, it is a privacy coin that has Bitcoin branding that didn't make exchange listing. It's valued at above $40 per coin with, as you said, a market cap above $1 billion. So if we do the same thing, a privacy coin with Bitcoin branding, with masternodes, that adds value. Above 40, how much value? That's up for the market to decide. exchange listing, even more value. Top advisors that will guide the project, even more value. The market determines price, but it looks like Bitcoin Private's likely the floor, and the ceiling is to be determined.
And have you selected these top tier advisors? Can you talk about who the advisors are?
At this point, no. We've got to leave some surprises for Sunday night. Our website goes live on Sunday, along with some of the advisors, along with the executive summary, every detail regarding the fork. And although this is the coming out and the announcement, we do have to leave some surprises for later in the week.
You are a trading master. You see trading opportunities where others see coincidences. Charts and patterns are everywhere. You can run with the bulls or be at one with the bears. So, don't waste another pip and take your talents to eToro. See why so many top traders choose us as their main trading platform. Start trading on eToro today.
So I caught up with Tone Vays on the same yacht that he gave his talk on earlier today at the blockchain conference. Tone, are you convinced that we're out of the bear market territory after this bounce?
Unfortunately, I am not. I am not yet convinced that the bear market is over. I am being overly cautious, perhaps, but there is a difference between speculative trading and actual investing. From a speculative trading perspective, sure, there is always money to be made on upswings in a bear market. But from an investor outlook, I would rather not risk it at this moment. And even as a trader like myself, I'd rather time trades to the downside in a bear market than get caught on the wrong side of a bull trade in a bear market.
Now, Tone, earlier when I was speaking to you earlier this year, you said that Bitcoin can go down to $2,500, maybe even $3,000. It went down to about $6,000. Now it's bounced up and we've been over $9,000 and even close to $10,000. Are you still calling $2,500 or $3,000?
I'm not calling that it will happen, but I'm still very, very cautious that there is a very decent probability that we can go that low. I am expecting lower prices than 6,000, even as we speak today. My highest low target is around 4,900. My lowest low target is that 1,300 area. And I still am not convinced that we are out of those woods yet.
What would convince you that we're out of the woods? What price level are you looking for? What volume are you looking for? What line in the chart are you looking for to tell us that we're out of the woods?
Sure. So I would need to see a higher high right now to at least $12,000. Then I would need to see a pullback down that does not come close to 6. So a perfect situation at this moment for me to be bullish would be a move to 11 or 12,000, then a fall to around 8, 9,000, the current levels we are at now, and then with volume start to go up from that level. That's the only situation that would convince me that 6,000 is in. The other situation that would convince me that 6,000 is in is if we continue go straight up and we're breaking 17, 18,000, getting close to the all-time highs. That would be unfortunate. I may lose some following if that's the situation we're in, but as a responsible trader and investor, that's how I look at prices.
Were you buying at $6,000 earlier this month?
I was recommending to potentially buy and trade to the upside the first time we went to that $6,000 area, but not the second time. To me, you don't get two perfect chances to buy the $6,000 low. There is maybe a 10% probability of a bottom happening in the same vicinity twice. So the first time we were bounced off of 6, yes. The second time we were bouncing off of 6,500, I was at that point, I'm expecting lower prices, and I'm still expecting lower prices because of that second double low.
Let's talk about something completely different. For as long as I've known you, Tone Vays has said that Ethereum is a security, and that one day Ethereum, the SEC would clamp down on Ethereum as a security. Now we're hearing news today that there was a secret meeting held, or a private meeting held with the SEC to discuss not making Ethereum a security because the SEC is looking at Ethereum as a security. Do you think that Ethereum is a security?
I think that Ethereum is a security. The security lawyers that I've spoken to for a long time now believe that Ethereum is a security. Now, there is a lot of interest out there that does not want Ethereum to be a security, not just from the financial interest that they own Ethereum or they've built companies on Ethereum. They might see the ecosystem on Ethereum as too big to fail because one regulator made a certain decision. Now, having said that, I am assuming that at some point in the future, I will be proven correct and the SEC will declare Ethereum a security. But even if they do declare Ethereum a security, they might not do anything about it. They might say it was so long ago, nobody knew anything, and we're going to prevent new Ethereums from happening. But just because they will, I believe they will eventually say the same thing I've been saying, it doesn't mean that there will be any penalties or anything comes from that. My ability to pretend to be the SEC ends with calling Ethereum a security.
Well,
what happens after?
You've been calling Ethereum a security for as long as I can remember. Anyway, we've had a great time here, but let's get out of here.
All right, awesome.
And for this reason, I'm out. No, wait. And for this reason, I'm out. How am I doing?
You're doing good. I like that. Yeah.
Give me one of those. Come on, give me one of
And
those.
for this reason, I'm out.
And for this reason, I'm out.
Yeah.
But you're not out of crypto.
Emphasis. Okay. Yeah, very good. Not out of crypto.
You're in crypto.
I'm in crypto. I'm in blockchain. Yes.
And why are you in crypto?
So it's, I like to be at the beginning of all new industries, right? So in the early 80s, I got involved in the world of, as seen in TV, infomercial space, and I had a really nice run with that. So as the internet was taking off, we got into the space of digital and selling products on TV and on digital, on Amazons and Pinterest and all that kind of stuff. So the world of crypto, blockchain, I started going to masterminds, a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4, and I just started hearing about amazing things happening. So it's just starting to really take off.
Did you mention that Richard Branson got you into crypto?
Yes. Tell
us the story.
So I was hanging out with a bunch of people, and my industry, the SN and TV space, has had some interesting ups and downs. There's fewer people watching television. I don't know in South Africa how it goes, but here in the States, it's 50% decline. So I had all the overhead and the infrastructure of a $500 million business, but we were starting to decline in sales, and so I said I need to get tuned into some really cool new things, and I had a mastermind that I was invited to go down and sit with Richard down in Necker Island. So he's just like, Richard is always at the forefront of new industries. So it was just a really cool weekend, and Richard is one of the pioneers. He's been on a lot of television shows talking about how he loves blockchain and crypto, and so
he's been on this television show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
He's been on Cryptotrader as well.
Oh, nice, fantastic. Yeah. So I call him sort of a mentor to me now. So the beauty of Richard, he doesn't need the capital anymore, but you make a donation to his charity, and then he starts kind of hangs out a little bit, right?
So let's talk about your actual investments in crypto. Yeah. What are you actively doing in crypto?
So in my world, over the last 35 years, I've sold literally billions of dollars of products on television and now the internet. And so we manufacture the products, we fulfill the products, we take pitches on the products, we do all these different kind of services. We produce the shows, etc. So my goal is to be able to analyze where are the shortcomings in the old way of doing things and how do we use blockchain and crypto in the future. So it starts by taking pitches. Here we are, Pitch Investors Live. I've taken tens of thousands of pitches. Now we're going to be doing it online through a blockchain format where anybody around the world can make a pitch, and investors, they don't have to go to a physical place. Like right now, when I was shooting Shark Tank, right, I had to go to the studios of Shark Tank to take the pitches. If I'm taking pitches at the hardware show or the houseware show, I have to physically be there. I can wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to take 10 pitches today, and go online, and there they are lined up ready to go.
So this is a pitch platform for people that want to launch ICOs.
It's for any product.
Any product.
Any product, yeah.
So any product in the world, if you want to pitch to a whole world of sharks or a crowd of sharks,
correct.
You log onto this platform, you use a token, I'm assuming.
You can use tokens, you can,
to do a pitch, and that gets viewed by all the sharks, and they are allowed to invest.
It gets, exactly. So to be a shark, the beauty of this is many people out there that watch Shark Tank, they're never going to be a shark. There's there's about 15 of us in the U.S. that have been sharks, right? I mean, Richard Branson is actually a shark on Shark Tank on some guest appearances, and obviously Mark Cuban and Alex Rodriguez from the Yankees. So there's been some celebrity sharks also, but in the scheme of in the hundreds of millions of people that are in the United States, there's only going to be a dozen or two that are going to be sharks. Here, many people, literally tens of thousands of people, can be sharks if they qualify. They got to be able to qualify, because we can't just have anybody taking pitches. But at the end of the day, whether it's an ICO, a kitchen product, a fitness product, a golf product, you name it, we're going to be taking pitches.
So everyone can take pitches, including me.
Well, as to be the shark, as you say, you have to qualify. You have to go through a qualification process.
And how does one qualify?
Well, I know Jonathan is going to be on the show, and he's going to explain all of the details of that. But you have to have certain assets, because we don't want somebody wasting their time if they're not a true accredited investor.
So Shark Tank comes to the internet. I'm going to try and qualify to be a shark. You can try and qualify being a shark. So let's work with me here. For this reason, I'm out. No.
Don't you want to be in? Come on.
I didn't do that right. I didn't do that right. Let me try again. For this reason, I'm out.
For this reason, I'm in. I like to be in sometimes, okay?
For this reason, I'm in. Now, Ronnie, are you convinced by this market recovery that we're seeing? Are you convinced that this is actually a recovery, or is there still a way down?
Absolutely. I was buying all the way down to 6,600, and I was posting screenshots on Twitter for purchases that I made at 9,000, 8,000, and 7,000. And I'm in the black now on all three batches. The price was being manipulated, and it's very important for people to understand that.
Are you guys convinced by this market recovery?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, for me, I'm totally excited about this conference.
Sure. I mean, if you look at the long-term trend, the most recent run-up was just another bump like we had in November, December of 2013.
On a long-term view, you can't beat it. You know, you got to ignore the short terms.
We are up for a nice ride in the future. It's the right time to buy. The volume is strong, so I'm completely into buy now.
Justin, a big announcement last week from you and from Pornhub saying that Verge is now integrated into Pornhub. Why do you think they chose Verge of all the cryptocurrencies?
Well, I think there's a lot of benefits to Verge. We're a privacy coin, and obviously, people who use online adult sites deserve some sort of privacy. And we also have a very, very large community, hundreds of thousands of people. So when you choose to integrate Verge into your platform, you're getting a lot with it. You're not just getting a blockchain-based currency. You're also getting a gigantic community that's going to be promoting, talking about it, and then you also have privacy features.
When you talk about privacy, how do you achieve the privacy?
We have Tor built into our applications. So most blockchain-based projects will expose your actual physical location across the network, which makes it easy for people to find you. So we use user IP obfuscation so that your actual physical location is never exposed. And then we have other things like stealth addressing, where you can have an address posted publicly, and people won't be able to follow the transactions that are going to it.
When you founded the project, why did you found the project? What was the reason that you said, okay, I've got to start this token?
Back in 2013 and 14, a lot of coins started coming out that were almost exactly the same as one another. Similar to the ERC20 token industry now. all of these coins were pretty much the same. Nobody was really doing anything, but there were a lot of coins coming out that were promising privacy, but never delivering. I had been running a mining pool, and I thought, well, I've worked with this code base for a while. Why not start my own? I'm not going to do an ICO. I'm not going to do a pre-mine, and I'm just going to get the people from the community that I know together, and we're all going to start trying to work on it.
Okay, so you start this coin and you start building a community, and now you've been doing a whole series of announcements. These announcements are all about vendors taking on or integrating Verge into their systems.
Right.
It seems like it's spreading like wildfire.
It really is, especially since we announced last week our partnership with Pornhub. We've had a lot of industry giants coming forward, and even small guys, and we try to treat them all the same. We want to help them all integrate Verge into their platforms. So we've had VPN services, a bait and tackle shop on the Jersey Shore. Any size industry, any type of industry, we welcome them with open arms.
Can you handle volume if volume comes? How much volume can your system handle?
Right now, we've been handling everything great. I mean, we're not even probably using 10% of our capability. Pornhub's already received thousands of subscribers using Verge, and if we ever need to scale, it's literally something that would only take us a few minutes.
But you talk about right now, and right now, blockchain is nowhere near scale. Blockchain is nowhere near mass adoption. I'm talking to you, will you be able to handle Visa-type transactions or MasterCard-type transactions?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if it gets to that point, I don't think that'll happen overnight. We would like it to happen overnight. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, we work on that, yeah.
Do you guys think that this bull run is a real bull run?
I believe so. I do a little bit of trading myself, so I understand support and resistance. So basically,
The life of a crypto advisor takes you traveling all around the world. For a decentralized community, we sure do centralize a lot. We meet at conferences in Miami, Los Angeles, South Korea, and of course, next on our radar is New York. As a crypto advisor, you've got to attend all these conferences because that's where you meet the new ICOs. That's where you build your network, and that's where you see all the new exciting projects. One of these advisors is Hen Tekel from Alpha Chain. Hen, you've been traveling quite a bit of late.
Yeah.
Just give me an idea of the life of a crypto advisor. How often are you traveling?
Traveling every month. So last year, ICOs went viral. A lot of attention came to the space, and there's been a whole industry surrounding blockchain conferences. And the way I look at it is this is really a time and place where people with the same shared interests can assemble in one place and discuss, do a knowledge jump essentially and find out what's going on. So I welcome it as an opportunity to get out there, find out what's going on in different markets in the world.
Now let's talk about a high-level view of how the space is evolving. You're an advisor, you're also an investor. What are you looking at today?
What I'm looking at today is for projects that address existing inefficiencies in blockchain infrastructure. Because what we found is last year, there has been a lot of projects with all kinds of ideas, app-focused, but then they realized that what they had promised to build can't actually be done. The existing technology is too slow, it's nowhere near scaling. So now it's brought attention back to infrastructure. So there's a few projects out there recently that I've taken a look at. Quark Chain, which is promising 10,000 transactions per second.
So Quark Chain is going into its ICO in the next month or two.
Yeah.
A little bit of background as to what this project actually promises.
This project promises to roll out a mainnet that is going to demonstrate a much faster processing of transactions. It's like a high-speed blockchain. So it's going to get us further along to the scalability that we're going to need to eventually allow this technology to truly scale.
Have they spoken about how many transactions per second they're promising?
They're promising 10,000 transactions per second at the moment, and they're saying that in time they can get up to 100,000 and then potentially over 1 million.
So that's another blockchain.
Yeah.
What other projects are you looking at?
I'm looking at Arweave, which is kind of a similar use case. It's a low raise, a strong team, a good set of advisors, and there's scarcity around allocations, which is a good thing for investors. It's good signaling.
So Arweave is taking on Filecoin and storage with a storage network.
Right, right. So distributed nodes across the network that is going to allow people to have data stored across an entire framework.
Now, Multicoin Capital published a report this week, and the report was very bullish on EOS. Not so bullish on Ethereum. It was a very balanced view of Ethereum, but kind of said that EOS is the big boy and Ethereum is actually just a small net. Metadium, I know that's one that we discussed earlier and that you're an investor in. Why are you looking at Metadium? What do you like about it?
It's not necessarily the technology that we're in this case. It's more about the scarcity around access, the kind of players involved, the funds that have invested. I felt it was a good play.
Great. And any other projects that you're looking out for, projects that are coming online pretty soon?
A few actually. XM Chain, so it's supply management, blockchain solution. There was a lot of interest in oversubscription of the pre-sale, so I'm really happy that they're getting ready to roll out soon on exchanges.
Okay, now the big question is, where do you get your information from? You seem to be in all the ICOs, you seem to have a great deal flow, you seem to be in quite early. I mean, every ICO that I talk to somehow has your name involved in it.
Yeah.
Where do you get your deal flow from?
From a number of sources, but I think a credit to it is making sure that I have continued cultivating a network of people that are heavily invested in this space in many key parts of the world and staying in touch. I mean, the great thing about this space is just how fast information travels, and with things like Telegram, everyone is able to kind of stay in contact, form these groups, and share a lot of information.
What advice would you have for our viewers who are looking to get information about ICOs, early stage ICOs? Because some of our viewers find themselves in a position where by the time they get to an ICO, either they can't get the tokens, or if they do, they're not getting them with any bonus or discounts.
Yeah.
And that kind of puts them at a disadvantage against the people that, like you, who are getting them pretty early in the game. What advice would you give our viewers to get access to these more early stage ICOs?
Well, I think this really comes down to being a value add. Right now, the space has gotten a lot more attention than it ever has received. If you look at last summer, to get an ICO, you needed just an email address and you'd get the contribution address to send your Ether. Now everyone's doing KYC. There's a lot of interest, a lot of projects with small raises and good signaling are oversubscribed. So what you need to do is reach out to these projects, really think about how you can market yourself in this space and what your differentiator is as a competitive advantage, and go out there aggressively and pursue these deals.
So I think what Hen's saying is that there's no such thing as a free lunch anymore. If you want to get early stage tokens, you've got to do the homework and you've got to get hold of the teams and talk to them about the value that you can add to their project. To do that, you may be able to get some discount tokens or some bonus tokens. That's all the time we have for tonight. Next week, we're going to be coming to you from Los Angeles from the Crypto Investment Summit, and we've got something very special planned. We're going to be broadcasting live from the stage, a live episode of Cryptotrader coming to you from the stage. Until next week, my friends, happy trading.